A speedy welcome to the show for everyone. This is the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And I'm your host on the show this morning. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior. It's Wednesday, the 20th day of May, 2026. And the Speed Lane is where we talk about issues that affect our lives, our communities, and even our society at large. Now, today on the show, we're talking about something many people hear from childhood, especially boys. That is, men don't cry. From a young age, many boys are taught that showing emotions is weakness. When a boy cries, people quickly say, stop crying like a girl. When a man is heartbroken, stressed, or overwhelmed, or emotionally hurt, society often expects him to remain silent and strong no matter what he is feeling inside. And because of this, many men grow up believing they must hide sadness, fear, disappointment, emotional pain, or even tears in order to be respected. But the question is, does being a man truly mean hiding emotions completely? Don't men actually have that right to even cry or even show that they are sad? At this point, you cannot be crying like a woman. You are a man. Be a man. Men do not cry because men also experience heartbreak, loss, family pressure, financial struggles, disappointment, rejection, stress, and grief. A man may lose his job and still be expected to stay strong, while the woman is actually able to maybe share those tears, be able to cry. A man may lose someone close to him and still be expected not to cry openly because what? Society has made a statement: men do not cry. Be a man or man up. A man may emotionally be exhausted but still feel pressure to act fine. So today, that is what we are going to be talking about. Our focus today on the Speed Lane is be a man. Men don't cry. Why is that? Why are men expected to hide their feelings and emotions? You also can call in to be part of this conversation, and the number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Why are men always expected to hide their feelings and emotions? Is it a bad thing? Like, is it a wrong thing? Is it a crime for a man to actually cry or show that they are in pain? The same thing that, the woman is crying for. When it comes to a man, people say that, why are you? People will even laugh at you or even mock you for maybe even showing those emotions as a man. So why is that the case? Don't men also have those feelings, the same emotions that other persons actually go through? Don't they actually also experience things like that? So why is it that the men, should not cry? Let us hear from you this morning on the Speed Lane. Number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Why are men always expected to hide their feelings and emotion? Hello? Is it a crime for a man to actually cry, to actually show that they are sad about something? Because in life, whether we like it or not, those maybe sad things or emotional things is going to happen to everyone. Whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, things are going to happen to you. And then when the woman cries, people, she's a woman now, just take it like she's probably going to talk over this for a long time, and then people console, people do this, people do that. But then for the man, you're just expected to, whatever is bothering you, well, hold it inside of you and don't do anything. Like, you're not supposed to cry about it. Let nobody. How can people even see a man cry? Some people even tell you that you should be ashamed of yourself, as a man, if you are crying. So is it a crime? What is something, or what is the mentality behind that? That society actually came up with it, like, okay, so as a man, you shouldn't be crying, you shouldn't show that, okay, because it's a sign of weakness. I mean, women cry and still stand up strong, but then why does the case change when it's a man? Number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Why are men always expected to hide their feelings and emotion? Every time, be a man. Men do not cry. Man up. You cannot allow people to see your tears. Sometimes it's even used as mockery, and this goes as way back as even when they are still boys, and even back then they'll say, why are you crying like your little sister? Or why are you doing this like a girl? You're frowning like a girl. You're saying that this is painful. Even as a child, maybe something is actually painful for a child that age, and people are saying that, how can this person, even though he is a child, how can he be crying over this like a girl? And then it follows up to even up to when they become like grown adults, when they grow up into men, the society still expects that, okay, the men are not supposed to cry. So why is that the case? Why are men always expected to hide their feelings and emotions? Number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you this morning on the speed lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior. Now, when we look at why men actually had, their feelings and then emotions. Now, many people believe this mentality begins from childhood, just like I mentioned. Some boys grow up hearing things like, be strong, toughen up. And why that should be like a normal thing to maybe even tell anybody, regardless of whether that person is a man or a woman. Specifically, people would say that, how can your sister be crying and you're also crying? No matter what age that boy is, as long as he is a man, then people are so quick to say, okay, how can you also be crying like a woman? You're supposed to just be happy. So is it that things don't actually affect men like the men? You can call in and tell us for yourself, what is behind this mentality? Is it that the men feel things differently, or the pain actually doesn't get to them, of different situations? That is why they are not expected to cry. Number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Why are men always expected to hide their emotions, their true feelings, whatever is maybe they are going through hurt for? They are always expected to hide that and then not show it outside. So why is that the case? Now some of those things actually come from maybe culture and then upbringing. Over time, many boys begin to associate emotions with weakness. But then when people cry, they are supposed to stand upright because, hello? All right, you can still call us back to be part of the show. It's 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. Now, when people cry, the normal thing is that, okay, you're supposed to get up from that crying. You're supposed to, not certainly necessarily because okay, that person is the weak person, right? But then it's like a different thing when it's the men. People will not even say, okay, this one is a painful thing and you should just allow. People will even be asking, okay, that man, hide your face. How can you be showing your face out here? You're looking like this. You look like it's actually affecting you. But is this actually fair to them? Because are there certain ways that you would say, hello? Are there certain ways that you would say this actually affects the men as well in the long run? Some men become afraid of being judged if they express sadness or vulnerability openly. And also that culture and upbringing also play a major role in many societies. Men are expected to be providers, protectors, and emotionally strong at all times. And for some is that how can the person that I am looking up to be that protector, or the person that is supposed to be consoling, or the person that is supposed to be providing and all these things, like how is that person supposed to be crying? How does the woman, how does the wife, how does the younger sister look up to him and then feel like, okay, this person is actually protecting when he is also crying? Hello? All right, you can still call back to be part of the show. This is the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And my name is Marysyntia Hangeior with you on the show this morning. Our focus is men don't cry. You also can call in to be part of this conversation. Number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Is it a crime for a man to cry? Like, what is it with people actually tagging it like men shouldn't cry? Why? Hello? Why? Like, is it actually something maybe that shows that weakness? This man is weak simply because he is expressing emotions regarding something. If someone hurts, if that person feels like, okay, it's a point where I come to tears, or it's a point where I actually show. But you see, maybe a man even lost something so important to him, maybe even a person, and then that man moves around, and then he's still expected to do the regular things, come out with a smile, and then not maybe not even show any sign of emotion, like he is hurting. Hello? All right, keep trying, and just maybe you would catch up with us. It's 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. This is the speed lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And my name is Marysyntia Hangeior with you on the show this morning. And then others fear losing respect. And one might want to ask, why is that even tied with respect in the first place? Because if someone is crying over something, does that mean that the person should not be respected in the future? And then people will keep making reference to, there was a day that you even cried like a baby, you even cried like a woman, and so now you're coming to toughen up and then try to tell us what to do. But should that be the case? If you ask so many persons, hello? If you ask so many persons, they'll tell you, oh no, I have not seen my dad cry, or I have not seen this person like this crying. The last time I saw my brother cry was when he was younger, or maybe even in primary school, when he was this, when he was that. But then is it that they never go through some of those things that should actually maybe put them to tears, or some of those things that are quite emotional for them? Or are they just hiding deeper things inside that they cannot bring out, or they cannot openly express, simply because society has, should we say consciously or unconsciously, put that tag like, okay, men are not supposed to cry, or men should not show those emotions. I mean, emotions are put in every human being. Those feelings, are put in every human being. But then when it comes to them, like, their own should not be shown. So what is it behind this? Number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you this morning on the speeding. Why are men always expected to hide their feelings and emotion? Tell us from your perspective, as a man, is it a crime for a man to maybe cry? Or is there like a code that it's probably the men that know about? You can still call in and let us hear what you have to say. And for many men, emotional expression was simply never taught properly. Some grew up in environments where emotions were ignored, dismissed, or even mocked. And the mocking, one will be surprised what that mocking is. Okay, how can you be doing this like a girl? Who actually limited that to a girl? Showing those emotions or expressing them in that way, or actually even crying about something. Who actually limited them to a girl? So you also can call in to be part of this conversation, and the number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you. We are talking about that statement of be a man, men do not cry, and then you're not supposed to show your emotions. You're not supposed to show that something is actually hurting you, or something is happening in this way. The same things are okay. Maybe the girl child is actually consoled for, okay, we understand with you, we understand you're sad at this moment, and then you're allowed to express your feelings openly. You're allowed to say that you're in pain right now. Why is it different when it comes to a man? So call in and let us hear from you. Number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. And if you're finding it difficult, to connect with us, we are streaming live on Facebook at Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. So you can you can tune in and then drop a comment right there on Facebook right now. It's Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makudi, and I'm with you on the show right now. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior. We are talking about that whole mentality of men are not supposed to cry, and the men are supposed to be strong no matter how, even they go through some of these things that people be going through, but then somehow society expects that they are not supposed to cry. So why is that the case? Call in and let us hear why you think men are always supposed to hold this together. Because I didn't know, also human beings, if you talk of people maybe showing emotions or people crying over stuff, I mean, everyone can do that, right? Hello. Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm calling from just Joseph Sawan.
All right, and what's your name? Please move away from your radio set or turn down the volume.
Okay, I am out here.
Okay. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I really want to participate or maybe make some comments about the ongoing program. Thank you very much for that program.
Okay.
There is no fast rules, standing rules that men should not be emotional. You see, men, just as you can see, we have different types of persons as far as God has created men. And equally has created women as well. So some men can be emotional. And then some can stay without being emotional. So there is no rule standing that men should not be emotional. When you want to compare men to women to some extent, you see that at times men can have a hard-hearted heart, not to be emotional.
Okay.
Equally, some women are well can stay without being emotional. But to see that a man should not be emotional, there's no rule standing against.
But we hear people say things like, "Be a man. You shouldn't be crying like a girl. You shouldn't do this." It's women that cry like that. How can you be talking like this when you're a man? So does it mean that men in general are not supposed to show any form of it? Like whatever you're feeling, just keep it inside.
No, I support that. Even myself, most often when anything happens, I am always emotional. Okay. Because I am a human being. I have blood running in my systems. And so when anything bad happens, before you know, I've started weeping.
Okay.
And then I wait for some time to cool myself down. And at the same time, maybe encourage either the children around me or my wife not to weep any longer. But to say a man should not be emotional, I think there is no rule standing like that.
Okay. All right.
That is what I'm saying in essence.
All right. Thank you so much for calling in to be part of the show this morning. This is the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And I'm your host on the show this morning. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior. You also can call in to be part of this conversation. We are talking about, that statement, that long-standing one of be a man, because men don't cry. And you also can call in to be part of this conversation. Number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you. Let us hear what you have to say. People refer to the man as a weak man. How can you be crying when your wife is what do you expect the woman to do when you're acting like this? And sometimes even when it comes to maybe not even crying or even expressing themselves, you are talking or you're expressing yourself so much, you are talking too much, like you're not a man. How does it make someone less of a man because the person shed tears when they were hurt, or maybe because they said certain things, they simply express their emotion, how they were feeling in that moment? Call in and let us hear from you. It's 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. That's 0808 427 5464. Is it a bad thing for a man to cry? Like, is it a crime for a man to cry? Why are they expected to keep all those emotions inside, to not maybe even say anything? And when we talk about this cry, sometimes it's not just the physical tears, that will come out. Sometimes it's even showing that, okay, this has actually affected me. Even when something is eating you and maybe someone asks you, like, how are you? Instead of going ahead to share some of those, say, okay, this is how I am feeling in this moment. This is it. I am fine. I am a man. And maybe even hit your chest. There are different things, different forms, different situations that these expectations comes up. And then people say all these words like, be a man, do not cry, you are appearing weak. How does it make someone to appear weak? And our last caller, he said that he as a man doesn't believe that. And then when the emotions come, he lets it out, and then when he's done, he still goes on to comfort his wife, try to make her to also calm down, because he believes that everyone is a human being, man and woman. I mean, everyone is a human being who can at some point in life let out emotions. So you also can call in and let us hear from you. Number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Hello? Hello? All right. You can still keep trying, or join us live on Facebook and, try to leave a comment right there. It's Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. If you cannot, call in, or you're having issues trying to call in, you can stream live on Facebook at Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makudi to be part of the show. We are talking about, men don't cry. Why shouldn't men cry? What is wrong with crying when it has to do with a man? Now, questions like, how does it actually affect people? How does it actually affect them to have to hold some of these things or all of these things inside and be expected to not bring them out at any point in time, because it's a man, and then you're not supposed to show fear. First of all, we talk about anger and aggression instead of communication. There are other ways to actually maybe even bring that out, to hold on to that anger, to become aggressive instead of passing that communication. Because if you do it that way, then you appear weak. So I have to look for another way to pass this message, to bring it out, to maybe show what I am feeling, simply because, well, the other way around, if I'm talking about it, oh, this thing was actually so painful, then people will say that is a weak man, or you're whimpering like a girl, you're crying like a girl, you're talking too much, you're expressing these things too much like a girl. Even the men, sometimes, okay, you look at maybe it would be like the women that would say some of these things, but then that is not the case. Even the men themselves who have been there, still turn to the other man and say, be a man. How can you be behaving like this, or how can you be crying about this when you yourself are a man? So you also can call in to be part of this conversation, and the number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you this morning on the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. Tell us why are men always expected to hide their emotions? Why are they not supposed to maybe express those feelings from what they feel? What actually happens? And we're talking about how it actually affects, some of these men to have to hold on to those things for a long time, and even silence suffering, and then emotional isolation. Like, hello? They are not going to listen anyway, or everyone is just going to feel like, okay, I am overreacting, or it's not supposed to be painful. And then even difficulty expressing love or vulnerability. There are people who you will find, okay, this person is unable to maybe even express this kind of love, or even to be vulnerable, simply because they have been put in that space where anything that has to do with emotions, I have to be a tough person. I have to toughen up so that my guys will not laugh at me, so that the men, my friends will not laugh at me, or they will not think that I am weak, or I am unable to do this. When a man even cries, some people say, see, this one is even disgracing themselves. But then it draws, for a woman, it actually draws that natural maybe pity or consolation. There are hands that want to say, oh, sorry. There are people who want to maybe comfort. But then why isn't that the same case for the man as well? Number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you this morning on the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. I will talk about mental stress and then emotional breakdowns. We keep saying that, oh, the men end up with so much problems, so much illnesses, and shorter lifespan, this and that. Some of these things actually contribute, and then people don't know much about that, or people don't know that, okay, this is actually contributing. They just feel like it has become so normalized that the other way around, is what is not normal. Like the other way around, for when people even look at a man that is crying, they are wondering, is this person actually running mad? Is this actually okay to be looking at? But then, is it actually a crime for a man to be expressing his own emotions like that? Number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you. And also, relationship and family communication problems, when you're actually happy, when you're actually okay with something, they do not know, okay, you don't know, this is how this person is. And some people can even suffer like that in silence, and then it ends up doing something to them. And one day someone ends up in the hospital and people are like, this person was so okay, this man was so okay, there was nothing wrong with him, he was very okay, he was very healthy. All of a sudden, this happened one day. And if you check, to some of these things, it's that some of the things that were being accumulated, that were being held inside, that were not being expressed, that started to affect, the body, even physically. So let us keep getting your calls. It's 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you this morning on the speed lane. We are talking about, be a man. Men do not cry. When people say men do not cry, does that mean that men are not supposed to maybe show these emotions? When they say be a man, toughen up, don't cry like a girl, don't do this one, why are you talking like a girl, why are you, there are different things. As long as it's getting emotional, people are going to tag it like you're doing it like a girl. So does that mean that the men are not supposed to express these emotions? They are not supposed to bring these things out? Call in and let us hear from you. And another people think is when men finally decide to open up emotionally, how does society react? Some people might say it's your choice to do it. But then as a human being, sometimes when you do something, you are in a place and then you do something and it is not being welcomed, it is not, or you are looked at, okay, you're weak. Nobody actually wants to be identified as a weak person. So sometimes even when we start to see that, okay, this is how society accepts it, or this is how society rejects it, people consciously, try to not be in that part where they are considered a weak person. No one wants to be considered that weak person, whether woman or man, because sometimes society say men should express themselves. But when some men actually do, they are mocked, even dismissed, or told they are being weak. Some people are even called, okay, you're acting like the other gender, or we are not sure that you actually are of this gender, simply because you were crying, or simply because you express your emotion. People will refer to them, different terms like, this is cringe, how can you be crying like this, how can you be whimpering like this, how can you be talking like this? A man is just supposed to talk small and then keep it. But then all those things that they are keeping inside, sometimes it comes out as maybe some illnesses. For some people it comes out as even aggression, because when you cannot cry about something, you find yourself maybe trying to remove it somewhere else, because that is how it is designed for human beings. Sometimes you have to let those things out, and when you're not letting them out, there comes a day where you decide to, this is the way I want to go about it. And then there are also people who believe men are expected to carry even emotional burdens quietly for everybody else, family pressure, financial responsibility, relationship stress, while still appearing calm and strong all the time, attending to everybody's tears. Everybody's crying and coming to you, and then you're supposed to just be that supportive dad, that supportive brother, that supportive, just that supportive man. And then you yourself shouldn't cry, shouldn't be able to rant out, this is the one that is bothering me, or this is where it actually hurts. And because of this, many men become uncomfortable, expressing their feelings, expressing this, and become even more comfortable expressing anger than sadness. You notice that society often accepts angry men more easily than emotionally vulnerable men. It's better for the person to be angry, to show it as anger, maybe even break things, than for them to maybe express that, with sadness, or even show some tears. This is the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And my name is Marysyntia Hangeior with you on the show this morning. And our focus is men do not cry. You also can call in to be part of this conversation. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Emmanuel from Northern.
All right, welcome to the show, Emmanuel.
Thank you.
All right. So let us hear from you. Why do you think that men are often expected to just hold all of those emotions together and not express?
Well, I think men are expected to be in the African society or maybe all over the world. As expected to be strong, so they will tell them to bottle up and keep whatever you are going through in you and try to deal with it. You know.
So does it mean that men do not feel the pain? Do they not feel pressure? Do they not feel sad? Why?
They feel the pain. Of course, they feel the pain. They feel the pain, but the society believes that they should be able to bottle it up.
So would
and rough it up.
Okay. Would you say that is fair? On the men's side.
It's not fair actually, but it is what it is.
And then the men just have to live up to it.
Yes, you just have to live up to it. You just have to, even when things are not going well. You enter your room, you cry, and you wipe your tears and move on with life. There's no time to waste.
Okay. Do you think that it will have like any negative effects at all on the men? Not showing these emotions for a long time like that.
Yes, of course it will. It will. The rate of suicide by WHO, I think it has increased. If you check the rate of suicide in men, it's actually more than women.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for calling in to be part of the show this morning. This is the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And I'm your host on the show this morning. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, and our focus is Men Don't Cry. You also can call in to be part of this conversation. And the number for you to call is 08084 asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you this morning on the Speed Lane. Let us hear what you think. You as a man or even as a woman, because we are all here. And all of these things are happening in front of us. So definitely you would have what you think about it or what to say about it. So let us hear from you. Keep your calls coming through, and you can even join and watching live on Facebook at Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. If you're having troubles calling in, you can drop a comment on Facebook. And we heard from Mr. Emmanuel, who spoke about society's expectations that this is how a man is just supposed to keep it in, like pull it all together. If you must cry, then go and cry inside, clean your tears, come back and act like you are strong. But then there is one thing about pretending and then pretending. Is it that you get used to it or one day? Hello? Yes, good morning.
Morning, Marysyntia.
Yes, welcome to the show, Mr. Hassan Sambe.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, sir.
Now, if you look at the rate of stroke, hypertension, and so on in men, it's so alarming. Why is this so? This is because of the burden on men's heart, because of all you are saying. Everything in the family hinges on the man. You, when you need something, you go to your father, you don't go to your mother. You go to your father. When your mother needs something, she goes to your father. When your siblings, they go to everything is hit on the man. So that you will see that the rate of men having stroke is too much. Because the burden lies on them as the head of the house. And sometimes we cry internally.
Okay.
And it's the crying internally, like keeping this to our hearts, that we get sick and die earlier than the women.
Okay.
Check what I have told you and you tell me the rate.
Okay.
Yes. That's the fact.
All right.
There's too much burden on the man in Nigeria and elsewhere.
All right. Okay, but sir, would you say that it is actually wrong? Is it a bad thing? Is it a crime for a man to actually show these emotions?
No. It's not a crime, but all we are saying is that
society has been unfair to man.
Mm-hmm.
Our society has been unfair to man.
Mm-hmm.
Because even the wife, sometimes those of them who can even earn a living, they do it to themselves. They don't bring it as what is for the family.
Okay.
It's only what the husband gives that is for the family.
Mm.
So that he is outweighed with demands and so on. School fees are there, feeding is there. Some are in rented houses, the rent is coming, and so on. It becomes completely impossible for him to make ends meet.
All right. So holding all this together would lead to some of those sickness.
Yes.
You're right. All right. We
All
get you.
these things, they stress the heart.
And then not
Sometimes
expressing
you don't
it.
want to soak so people to see. So the weight on the heart becomes too much. And the next day you still limping on the left hand and the right leg and so on. You have to say stroke.
All right.
You hardly see a woman having stroke.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for calling in to be part of the show this morning. This is the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And I'm your host on the show this morning. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior. And our focus is Men Don't Cry. You also can call in to be part of this conversation. And the number for you to call is 08084 for asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you. Let us hear what you think. We have been on this topic, and then we heard from Mr. Hassan Sambe, and then he also tags society as the culprit, of the way of framing this thing like, okay, that man is just supposed to be strong. He's just supposed to be tough. He's not supposed to express some of these things and just hold it inside. And then on the effects, he mentioned some of these things, some illnesses. He mentioned hypertension, he mentioned stroke, and of course we have women who actually go through these things as well. You have women who are there, but then talking about the men in particular, with the obvious reason that, okay, they are not as allowed, or should we say they are tagged as weak for simply expressing that this is how we feel. And sometimes, I don't know, you can even notice as a human being yourself that there are times where maybe you cry about something or you express yourself, and all of a sudden you feel better, you're able to relieve yourself. There's this maybe peace, maybe not even solution, but then at least there is this peace of that comes with maybe expressing yourself, being able to tell that this is exactly how you feel. But then men are looked at as weak, for simply showing that this is how I feel about something, or this is me shedding tears because I feel hurt, because I feel bad, and instead the anger is being welcomed. And when that emotional suppression, and then it becomes where it turns to anger, and from anger to aggression, or from things that sometimes some people are not able to shift it into that, and then they just hold it inside, and then it turns into those illnesses, just like Mr. Hassan Sambe mentioned. Some of those things that it starts to affects physically, because when you talk about some illnesses, people will tell you, okay, it's because maybe it's because of the water I was drinking, or some things that had to do physically. But how about the mental stress as well? So you can still call in to be part of this conversation. It's 0808 for asking. That is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you. And sometimes, bottled emotions later come out as anger, frustration, even aggression, or withdrawal. Someone who doesn't want to do anything at all, simply because, they have been in a time where they were shot in that bottle, and now they have withdrawn, or they have completely given up, simply because, they didn't want to appear the other way around, and now they ended up, in a worse situation instead of having to express that. And over time, this can affect mental well-being, communication, and even personal happiness. At the same time, some people still believe too much emotional expression for men can make society to see them differently. So this topic continues to create that debate. Where should the balance really be? Men are not the same humans who feel and then should be able to express these emotions without being judged by society. Now, another important question is, should men feel comfortable expressing emotions openly, because many people now argue that expressing emotions does not automatically make someone weak. Just like we have been hearing, even from the callers, a man can still be responsible, still be mature, disciplined, and emotionally expressive at the same time. Some people believe society needs to stop teaching boys to completely suppress emotions, or even using those statements like you're crying like a girl. Everything that has to do with maybe a man expressing themselves emotionally has to seem like, okay, you're doing it like a girl. Others argue that men should still maintain emotional control and then resilience, because of some responsibility, because of the people that you have to put in place. But then one thing is still important, that is yourself as the man. Crying, speaking about pain, asking for support, or expressing emotions does not necessarily remove strength or masculinity. In fact, some people believe that emotional honesty can improve communication, even mental well-being. Now the final question becomes, how can men handle emotions in healthier ways without feeling ashamed? Number for you to call is 08084 asking, that is 0808 427 5464. It's 0808 427 5464. Call in and let us hear from you. Some men may benefit from even trusted friendships, family support, or simply having safe spaces where they can speak honestly without fear of being mocked, of being laughed at, or some people even shaming, like, okay, you're doing something that it should be a girl that is doing, because everyone fears that, because people naturally believe that, okay, this is something that is considered weak, or slowly that mentality, that narrative has actually entered society to the point where it's not even something arguable. The moment someone sees it, they just recognize it. Well, this is actually weak. So if we, individually start creating that mindset, like, this is just a human being, not a man, not a woman, it's a human being who has those emotions and can actually break down sometimes, can actually express them, in order to avoid those effects that we mentioned, the aggression, the sadness, even illnesses, those frustration that can turn out to be something even worse. They have to also express this. So that is it for the speed lane this morning. We have been talking about men don't cry, why society expects men to just be quiet and then not express themselves emotionally. Anything that is seen as that considered weak, why that actually happens, and then what we can actually do better, how it affects them and what we can actually do better. And I'll be with you on the show. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, and also coming up next at 10 a.m. is King James 90s Top 10 right here on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And until then, keep enjoying music of your life.
This is
Asking Radio 98.5 FM.
Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM.